Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing very well and welcome back to another cryptocurrency technical analysis, where in today's video I'm going to be going over how I have been trading Bitcoin, how I will be trading Bitcoin and everything in between. So I hope that you enjoyed a video where we are going to be going over the importance especially of the 382 Fibonacci level. Okay, so let's start this masterclass on Fibs. Where to begin here? There's so much to go over. There really is so much to go over. I'm going to start obviously actually reviewing what we've seen over the last few days, and then I'll go over what's happening right now. Okay, so we obviously had our double top sort of scenario where we got that swing failure pattern breaking the highs, okay, closing back down below. Okay, since we had that swing failure pattern, we had obviously come back down, formed our little retracement, and then we went into this parallel channel. Okay, so we were in this parallel channel as I covered in the last video. Okay, that obviously broke to the downside. You can see why it was so bearish, because you formed a downward sloping parallel. Okay, and we were unable to break any of the highs. So you have the high, the lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, we want to see price break above this and come above the highs. Okay, so we just continue to move down, and then we got that very big drop. Okay, very big drop. Okay, funnily enough, it went exactly to the 382 Fibonacci level. Let's review this really quickly. I'll show you why the 382 Fibonacci is so important in that in an uptrend of buying the retracement. Okay, so we're taking from the bottom of wave 2, okay, to the top of wave 3. And you can see that we obviously hit the 382 Fibonacci to the absolute tick, everybody. And that was obviously from now where we're seeing around a 24% gain. So yeah, that's why you buy the 382 in an uptrend. 382 is a very good Fibonacci level to buy, not financial advice. But okay, so that's reviewed. We obviously broke down from the parallel channel straight to the 382 Fibonacci level. Great opportunity to actually be buying, where you then come back up, but we formed another downward sloping parallel channel with a difference. Okay, so we obviously formed our lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, but really important, price came back over the lower highs. Okay, price came back over the lower highs, held it as support perfectly, and as we all know, moved up another 12%. And honestly, this was for me, 2,717 was a really key level of whether I believed that we would be moving down for that another leg or moving back above it. Okay, so as I posted obviously in my group, I was posting about the importance of the 7,217 fib level. Okay, and like literally after we managed to break above it, okay, we came back down and held it perfectly. So we come and back tested it. As I said, like, yeah, that is easy gains from the back test. So literally we were just watching. Okay, here we are in our downward sloping parallel. You come back, you break that resistance, you come back down and test it as support. Really important SR flip for me. That was like a real key sign that, yeah, this is probably going to be breaking up after you hold the 7,217. Honestly, it was a massively important number, and you can just see how good I am at, seeing the correct levels to be looking at here. Okay, so then obviously what happened here? Okay, we broke that upwards from our downward sloping channel. We then formed a descending triangle here, which is obviously triangles are continuation patterns. Okay, so we obviously are coming from the upside. You obviously form the triangle and then you break upwards. How did we also have clues that we were breaking upwards here? Obviously, just from a general sort of perspective, you could just be looking at this as like an A, B, C, D, E. Okay, obviously breaking upwards, but just in terms of a triangle, you obviously have your partial decline. Okay, so you're obviously going from low to high to low to high. You form a partial decline right here. Okay, sign of bullishness. So you don't come down to test the bottom, you get the partial decline, and then you break straight back to the upside. Okay, so very yeah, lovely basically. And I even tweeted this out like yesterday. I was even saying like yesterday, like I gave you all that parallel channel, not parallel channel, I gave you all this descending triangle to be looking at, and as I said, like this can easily be a continuation pattern, just because descending triangles are downward sloping resistance. They do not have to break to the downside, especially if it's coming from the upside. So basically a continuation pattern. Okay, so I was like trying to highlight it can easily be a continuation pattern because you break from the upside. So you're coming from the bottom up to the descending triangle, and it continues to the upside. Okay, you understand? Brilliant. Let's go. So then we obviously pump, really quickly. You see this on the 3-minute time frame. Okay, you can see this how we come up, tested it as resistance, obviously with a partial decline there, and then we just blast straight up. Okay, so this was a relatively quick rise. Okay, you had little brief pauses on the way up, but we come up to the last high of our parallel channel. Okay, so then you can see the old high, the very high of the parallel channel, and that's exactly where we came and back tested as our resistance today. Okay, and then we can see again the importance of the 382, taking our fibs. Let's zoom out to the 15-minute here. So we're taking our fibs from the low of the descending triangle, okay, very low of the descending triangle, up to the top. We come down again for the 382 Fibonacci level, and that's another about 2% more or less gain from another 382 fib. And this is like, if you miss out on moves, take out your fib levels and just trade off of this 382. It is honestly extremely profitable. Okay, so yeah, that's everything that I wanted to cover in terms of the history of Bitcoin that we've seen over the last few days. And honestly, there was, I hate to say it's easy to trade, because I have a lot of people that are like, oh, can you not say this? Like, but for me, like, this is like easy to trade in terms of, the patterns. Okay, we have the patterns, and this is why you lose all bias on the chart. It doesn't matter about predictions. It doesn't matter what you care about. Literally trade the chart, and you'll be so amazed at how perfect technical analysis is. We literally had the perfect downward sloping parallel channel where we cannot break the highs, equaling no buying pressure. If you can't take the highs, there's too much sellers. Okay, so there's too much supply, not enough demand. You break to the downside to the 382 perfectly. You then form another parallel downward sloping, but this time buyers show up, they take the highs, bullish. Okay, you then form the old resistance, as mentioned. Like, I was not randomly making up this number. For me, it was really, really important while we were coming down on these lows. Okay, I mentioned it, and then obviously you come back and you hold it as support perfectly. You get the partial decline, another technical analysis pattern, and then you obviously rip to the upside in a continuation pattern. Okay, so the signs were there. Then you're taking if you missed out of the move. Okay, if you missed it, for fibs from low to high, taking a scalpel for the 382. Okay, and then from there, now what I'm looking at is really, for me, I'll give you both scenarios, because I don't want to put words into your mouth of how you should be trading this. But the two scenarios that I'll be looking at now is obviously the high of the move, okay? And this could all potentially be an X wave. So you have to remember that I did have my eyes on a WXY, okay? So WXY, WXYZ, and this could just be the X wave, okay? So you do want to be aware that we could have just seen then obviously our W coming up for an X right now to come back down for a Y. And in that sort of scenario, I would be really watching this 8,170, the top of the parallel channel of resistance. Obviously, you could just simply add in the high again. Okay, so the high 8,400, but that's quite a while off for where we are now in terms of percentage moves. Okay, so that's really the area that I would be watching now, your high 8,100. Okay, if you want to like take some shorts, top fishing plays, and obviously you can see the key sort of resistance at the 618. You don't really want to be losing that now. If this, that's where I would be going. If we lost the 618 here, golden pocket, really 786 as the lowest support, if we sort of start breaking down from there, then I would definitely be looking at this as an X wave. But overall, I'm just very happy with the whole move. As I mentioned to my champion group, I personally made it very clear to them all that I was bullish on Bitcoin after we came down and we retested the 382 Fibonacci level. And that, for me, retesting the 382 made me extremely bullish. Okay, basically, when you get a sort of parabolic, so to speak, rise like this, okay, it's very unsustainable. But when you come back down, okay, so you're coming back down, you're getting good levels to be a buyer. Okay, 382 and an uptrend is a good buy. It adds confidence. It adds more of a healthy sort of vibe to the uptrend. Okay, so that for me was like, as soon as we back tested this, for me it was like a really good sign. And then obviously the confirmation, okay, because we want confirmation. The confirmation was breaking then upwards from this downward sloping parallel channel. Okay, and that was the real confirmation that actually, yeah, that was really bullish. That decline to the 382. And then obviously we formed that continuation, and we continued upwards. So yeah, that's exactly how I'm viewing it. Although absolutely, I'm still aware that we could be just in a WXY. Okay, so as with anything, as I said earlier, I'll trade the charts. I won't be held to any sort of bias or predictions. I will just trade the charts exactly as they're given to me. And again, as we're holding the 382, absolutely healthy and fine in my opinion. But yeah, I obviously will be aware of that WXY correction. So yeah, that's everything that I wanted to cover on Bitcoin. The levels that I'd be looking at really are the 382. I personally would prefer the 382 to support hold now, because obviously breaking through that resistance level, now we have held back tested this as support again. So in my opinion, that's really healthy. But yeah, I'm still very aware of the X wave possibility that we have going on here. Okay. So I hope that this has helped you with Bitcoin. And now I just want to go on to, if you look across the board, you can see alts obviously very red today. Obviously Bitcoin, the altcoins do not like Bitcoin having high volatility, and this is exactly what we saw, a high volatility, and over a 10% move is very volatile. Okay. So you can see the alts across the board generally very red. Obviously, Bitcoin Cash being a green, and Watercoin Matic exceeding the 1618 Fibonacci level extension now. So this is now going on through where we would generally just now be looking for the 2 extension, obviously 265 sats, but this really has to have a trading stop loss at this point. In my opinion, you have to be trading your stop losses as this continues to move up, because obviously we're past the 1618. Now the target is the 2 extension, but honestly I'd be trading my stop losses. Well, I am just trading stop losses at this point. Okay, you just want to be trading your stop losses because we are reaching that high resistance level. Okay, and so this is one that I obviously tweeted out. This is what I said, and this is, how true has it become? So obviously Matic, and this was on the 17th, so 2 days ago. So it continues to run really well after retracing to the 0.5 Fibonacci level for wave 2, and it is now on its way to the 1618 extension. If you miss a pump, wait for the retracement and never FOMO by the top. So obviously this was tweeted out when at 190 sats. We're now on 243. Okay, a massive increase. But again, wait for the retracement. Exactly how we originally saw the pump up, and this was like a crazy, massive pump. We waited for the retracement. Okay, you managed to get back in, and then at this point, again, you don't want to be FOMOing at the top, but have a guess where we retrace to on this move. Okay, so taking our fibs from the low of the move to the high at the high of the time, coming and testing the 382 Fibonacci level to the absolute tick, tick, and then you can see from at this point, this is another 50% rise, and we're talking about in terms of time, 1 day for a 50% rise. Okay. So now we're just obviously being very aware that this is reaching target areas now. For me, this is target area between the 1618 and the 2. That is, you're definitely your target area for wave 3, okay? And if we're just looking at this very simply, okay, obviously this was originally our 1, 2, high target areas, the 1618 to the 2. So we're looking for our 3 to top out fairly soon, looking for the 4 for the 5th. Okay, so this is really is reaching target areas. Now, obviously, you could slightly retrace this down and have this as a 3, 4, 5, but I am much preferring having the 3 actually being in our target area of a 1618. That's where we go for the wave 3s. So exactly, playing out as expected. Yeah, and like this is like massive moves basically. So yeah, that's all traded. It's just funny that Matic is up 40% today, and if you look at that on, yeah, crazy. So yeah, very well. And I think that is everything that I wanted to cover. Yeah, obviously, just on generally on these alts, they're obviously the vast majority are bleeding out quite heavily as Bitcoin is volatile. So as always, just keep your trading stop losses on. You should never be in trouble with any of these moves. And yeah, just yeah, let's keep our eye on Bitcoin now. Okay, really just keeping your eye on these, key support. We're looking at the 382, but we could come back down. If people missed out on this move, everybody always wants the retracement. So if we get that retracement, then you're obviously then looking at around, between the 618 and the 786. Okay. But above the 382 is very healthy, but we do have to be aware of the WX and then coming back down again for the Y of this WXY correction, and obviously that would have been our high range, really big range, but our sideways correction that we were after. Okay, so yeah, everything kind of going as expected, and yeah, just enjoying the market basically, absolutely enjoying it. I hope that you all are having a brilliant weekend. I just need to cover this again because the amount of messages that I'm receiving about it is like really popular demand. But again, just yeah, my mentorship of the group, obviously where I'm posting my ideas and things, like people really want to get in on it at the moment, and not just for that, but for the educational side of things. You can all see that what you can learn from me is great. It's really great, to be honest. So obviously it's in high demand, but I just have to like really stress, because I'm just repeating the same messages so many times that yeah, this is sold out at the moment. So I'm not opening it up for anybody. Okay, it's sold out, and it is opening in June. At the start of June, I will open up the signups again, where we're just going to be opening it up and letting maybe 30 extra people in, more or less. Okay, and as soon as it sells out again, it's going to be closed again, and you just have to wait for the waves to reopen. So yeah, it's just yeah, I'm answering the message too many times, and I just wanted to really clear it up that it's sold out, and as wrote here, it will be reopening around the first week of June. So just like stay tuned, I guess. And it's going to be only open to Discord members first, so I'll post it in like the general Discord when it's open. So if you want to get in, and you just be aware of it and be in the Discord, I guess. So yeah, I just wanted to clear that up because I'm replying too much to the same message. So yeah, basically that's everything that I wanted to cover. I look forward to trading this, to be honest. Today it's been an absolute joy, and just look how perfect that chart is. Look how perfect that chart is. I love it. I love technical analysis and I love trading, and I love this market, and I love you all, and I hope you're all doing very well, having a great weekend, and I will catch you in the next video. I honestly hope that this has served you well and helped you out. So yeah, thank you everybody, and cheers. Bye.